will, YouTube. I've just given up on the beginning because I'm horrible at it. This is Ronin Kaze. We're going to talk about Linux today. So what you got right now, I'm going to show you how easy Linux is. So this is CatchyOS. It's the one I use. You could use whatever, but I think it's easy to use this if you game it all. I'm going to start Steam, and I'm going to load Hades 2, which is already in my library. Hades 2 is one of those games. It's like Game of the Year nominee. It's pretty popular. I'm picking the drive I'm putting it on. Like I've told you before, I redid my computers. I have a whole drive dedicated to Linux now. I don't share a partition. Like, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Maybe donate me a cup of coffee. Buy me a cup of coffee. Buy me a Monster. Appreciate it. So it's loading up Hades right now into Steam. Again, I went over in my last video why this is all possible. Steam with the Steam Deck made things workable with like a Linux base, and now it's Pandora's box. It's unlocked. And one of the things I wanted to show, and I got another video later that I might do, where I just am loading a bunch of different free programs that you can put on there. Free programs that are like, I use LumaFusion to make my videos, but there's a Kden Live that you could use. GIMP is a photo manipulation program. You know, there's a whole bunch of different free programs that are pretty decent that you could use. Of course, if you're using a browser, use a browser in Windows already. If you're doing anything like that, that's on Windows, most of those programs you can use in Linux that are web-based for sure. And so some specific things, I don't know if Adobe works in Linux or not because I don't use it. I use stuff on iPad. And what I would just tell you, an iPad with their free programs or their dirt cheap programs is cheaper than getting an Adobe, and you can take it with you all the time. So like, that's the kind of math calculation I'm doing. Why did I use LumaFusion? It's cheaper and faster to use iPad Pro and LumaFusion than it is to use, or if you want to use whatever their final script or whatever it is. But hey, that's up to you. Hades 2. It's a great game. It's roguelike. Again, in one of the videos I did, I talked about Rogue. I showed you what old original Rogue was like, and this is a new one. What I want to talk to you today about is just loading games. So I've loaded Division 2, same thing. I just clicked the button, it installed it, then it worked. Now, Ghost Recon isn't a game that I can buy through Steam, and no. So what I did is I loaded whatever Ubisoft Connect, and then I said, hey, install the games I've already bought on Ubi Connect, and installed it through the magic of wine, YouTube. And it's on there so I can play Ghost Recon, both of them, Wildlands and Breakpoint, which you'll see me play because I love those games. So one of the points of all this is that you don't need to have Windows to do it. What are the negatives of using Windows? Well, if you're an old codger like me, any computer system is going to be inherently, you don't know what you're doing, right? If you're just a general person. So who cares if you don't know Linux or you don't know Windows? Because once you get your stuff working, it just works. And when it breaks, it breaks. So you're in the same problem no matter what. Let's talk about threat vectors. So if you have Windows, you're more on the radar to get virus or hacked or scammed or things like that. Doesn't mean you can't have it done in Linux. But one of the first, when I started this journey and I was going to tell you about Linux or Windows, one of the main things about Linux is it's not adopted by anyone. It's not, you know, I think the #1 adopted operating system is Android, then it's Windows, then it's like Apple, then it's like iOS, and then way down, like not making a blip, is Linux. And that's for consumers. Not saying that Linux isn't great for servers, but we're talking about that Caesar in the background. He's visiting. We're talking about what you're using day to day. How do I load my programs? So really, in any Linux distribution, there's a thing called a package manager. And what the package manager does is it has a repository of these programs that you pick and then you can install. And a lot of them are well known. So like if you ever see XDA or some other Tom's Hardware, they'll have a post. These are the top 10 Linux things I install in every installation.
Walk you through anything.
And in general, you don't have to care that, you know, some package managers are apt, and some are whatever, and some are whatever. Doesn't matter. Whatever your distribution package manager is, that's the one you're going to use. What are the downfalls of Linux? The downfalls of Linux are that sometimes you have to know how to use your computer. But I would argue that's the same thing for Windows. A common problem that Apple and Google try to take advantage of is they try to give you an iCloud drive. But if you turn on all your backups, it's just backing up garbage, and it's impossible to manage that because now you're talking about 10 gigs of files that you got to go through, like every picture or whatever. So some of those problems are inherent in technology. There's no quick, easy way to do it. The easy way to do it is let AI characterize each one of your photos. The bad news is if AI characterizes each one of your photos, it might be doing it anyways, then everyone has access to your photos. When I was in sales, they'd give you a computer and they would give you the customer database. And then they were surprised if other people got access to the customer database because once it's on a computer, it's basically on the internet. It kills me when I see these posts or texts on all these political channels where someone tells someone something in secret, says, don't post this in the chat. And then it's on a YouTube channel, you know, with 7 million views later. So the inherent problems with Linux are the inherent problems with Windows.
So bright.
I'd say the other problem with Windows is you have a lot of people are half-steppers, which means they know half of what they need to know in Windows, but not all of it. They know enough to screw it up even further. I'll give you a great example. I know enough about Linux. In one of my situations, I was... you can dual boot with Linux. That means you can have a Windows copy installed and you can install Linux. I had done that, but when I would look at the layout of the disk, I wanted to move things around and make them more contiguous. And when I did that, I just broke the master boot record. And I ended up just reformatting the whole hard drive because it was simpler than... Because I read a command somewhere, typed that command in, and then it made the drive unbootable. So I learned my lesson. So Linux, you can absolutely brick your computer. You're not bricking it, but like if you're a beginner, it might as well be bricked. So if I had to tell you the best case scenarios is Linux makes they make a system where the operating system can load into your RAM and you can run it and test drive it there. I said previously the main thing you should test drive is what graphical desktop environment you want to use. There's some that look like every version of Windows. There's some that look like DOS, like just text-based. But in reality, I use KDE, and I use KDE. I liked GNOME or GNOME, but what I did is I like sometimes how the Mac's thing is in the middle, and I started using a Mac. So Mac's my other main computer. So I've just made everything. The main difference with the Mac, Windows has the Windows controls, minimize, maximize, close on the right. On the Mac, it's on the left. So I moved all my Linux stuff on the left. That's what KDE allows me to do. You can have your things on the left. You can have your bar on the right. You can have it pop up like Windows 95, where it's cascading with these menus upon menus upon menus, which I think's not that smart. But anyways, that's me. That's Ronin, not you. You can do what you want. So what's stopping you from using Linux? Nothing at this point. For your regular life, I was going to even do this, and then, I was just going to buy a used computer off of eBay, something, reformat it with Linux, and then just give it to someone in the channel. Have like a live, whatever. Because it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. All you care about is that you can read your email. You can do that from your phone or Linux or Windows. None of the things you do right now, and if you have an Android phone, you're using what's called Linux anyways, basically. It's a cousin of it, let's say. There are some things that are different that you're going to need to realize, but nothing that's game stopping. And I talked in the last video about how people that are proponents of things sometimes use language and ideas to exclude other people. They want you to adopt it, but they want you to adopt it their way or how they want you to adopt it. I don't care what version of Linux you use. In essence, they're all the same. They have package managers are different, and then they're updated differently. And then on any distro, you can pretty much choose one of the main graphical desktop environments. So there's really no excuse. This is the weekend I want you to do that. So if you're doing Black Friday, what I want you to do, and you get that laptop. It's not a brand new laptop. It's not a 2025 laptop. It's a great deal on a 2023 brand new laptop that's never been used, but it's a good price. I want you, it's 500 gigs or bigger, I want you, when you get that, partition the drive so you have 250 gigabytes free, and then install Linux in that part. You'll never look back. I installed it on my Legion Go handheld, and I was really nervous because it has some features that are not Windows. But the handheld version of it works fine. Speaking of handhelds, I'd have to recommend, so I had a computer died, I gutted it and put all its internals into like a bare bones computer. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM. I have it set up as the following. I have 16 gigabytes dedicated to the video graphics card, and I got 48 gigabytes, that's 64, dedicated to RAM. And what I found in most games, it'll ramp up to like 10 gigabytes of video RAM and maybe 16, 17 gigabytes of RAM. So I'm glad I did that because I'm letting the machine breathe. I've also lowered the power specs so the thing could go up to 65. Computers work like this. The more voltage it has, the more voltage it can have, the more in amperage, the more power it can have, the faster it's going to run. But it takes more power and it gets hotter and you have to dissipate the heat. So I've been on this thing where I want to use like 30, I really want to use 25, but the Legion goes 30. I want to use 30 watts or less of power. So I downstroked my computer down to 30 watts. Runs everything I want fine. There's this new game. It's a Chinese MMO. I installed it on Legion Go. It didn't run worth crap. Too laggy. I'm going to try it on this computer and let you know what's going on. But Hades 2 is a great game. It's fun. What I'm stuck at is this part. If this is near the end, this might be there. This is the boss I got to get past, and I could go to the next level. I can never beat this boss. I couldn't even get here for a long time. But as you go through, you get stronger and stronger, and you can buy more things where you get more stuff. I just don't last long enough. And I haven't really dug into the strategy of the game. What I'm doing with the game is I'm just playing it and having fun. I'm not trying to be a Mr. Hades 2. I enjoy it though. The other thing, when I played on my Legion Go, it was better with a joystick. I have a PlayStation 4 joystick, not an Xbox joystick. And I died, YouTube. So what I think I'm going to do after I log out of Hades, I think I'm going to show you some more Linux desktop stuff. Like loading programs. Maybe I load Kden Live. Hopefully I didn't cut it off before then. So YouTube, I want you to buy, if you buy a laptop that's not the top of the line, bleeding edge hardware that has drivers, then I want you to put Linux on it. If you buy a bare bones system like I did, put Linux on it, just straight up, put Linux on it. I want you to think about this. You could put Windows on it at any time. You could just put another hard drive in it. 1 terabyte hard drive is like $67 or something. So that'd be easy. And you could erase the Linux thing, but you're not going to. I'd say Linux is safer because it has less of an online profile. I think you'll learn about your computer. You'll like it, and it runs all the same stuff. What I like about Catchy is every day I update it. You saw that maybe in the first thing that I was updating it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe I didn't put that in there. I think that's on another video I'm going to show you. But when I load in Catchy, I update the operating system and all the software, and then I reboot it. That's what I do every day. I don't want to do that. I don't have to do that with Windows. Well, your programs are out of,
Trusty knucklebugs.
it's waiting for one big, or it's doing it in the background. I know every day that I'm updating, it's something I control. It's something I can see. And the fact I do it every day makes me know how to do it even better. So when I have to load another thing, I know how to do it.
My grasp.
We're trying to get better this year, YouTube, not worser. Okay, so I'm getting near the end here. I would vote yes on Hades 2. I think it's a good game to pick up in between games. It's kind of like Diablo 4 in the fact that you can get in and out of it relatively quick. So this is Ronin Kaze. It's Thanksgiving today here in the U.S. Happy Thanksgiving. And for all the horrible things that have happened outside the world, I apologize for that. I'm sorry what's going on. I wish everyone a safe day. This is Ronin Kaze out.